Yo hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto goes back in time with Kakashi to his Genin's days. Part 3. If you guys enjoy this what if and want to see part 4, comment down below. And let me know before I start. Please do support for more awesome content. And leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And also share this video with your friends. And check out the description. And check out my playlist. So let's start the video. Chapter 7. Zabuza, heir of Gatu. Why are you still here? Inari demanded, annoyed, at breakfast a few days later. You escorted Grandpa home, you can go now. We could, Naruto agreed. But then he would die, and that would make the whole escorting him safely home thing kind of pointless. This whole thing is kind of pointless, Inari said mockingly as he stood up and went back upstairs. Your attempts at getting through to him not working? Sakura asked sympathetically. Not really, Naruto groaned. He's so stubborn. Why don't you just use your therapy jutsu on him, Sasuke asked, the air quotes impossible to miss. I would, Naruto said, except it loses most of its effectiveness when not accompanied by physical violence, and I don't think I'm allowed to hit the client. Especially not if the client is an 8-year-old, Kakashi concurred. Naruto's eyes widened suddenly. One of my clones dispelled. Ever since arriving at Tazuna's house, Naruto had left 2 clones out all night. The first was to pretend to be him, training so hard that he passed out, and the second was to conceal himself and then dispel if Haku happened upon him. Go after it, Kakashi ordered. And Sasuke, why don't you go, too? You haven't gotten a chance to take revenge on anything in at least a week. And if I don't? Sasuke asked out of habit as he stood up. I thought today we'd start on water walking, Kakashi replied. Sasuke and Naruto practically bolted for the door. What are we supposed to do while they're gone? Sakura asked. Kakashi raised an eyebrow at her. You don't really mean we're going to practice water walking, do you? Sakura asked. After all, it's been nearly a week, Zabuza could attack at any moment, we need to guard Tazuna. I agree, Kakashi said innocently. You? Do? Sakura asked suspiciously. Absolutely, he said airily. Which is why it's fortunate that this bridge is, like most bridges, built over a large body of water. Why do you hate us? Sakura asked despairingly. What have we ever done to you? Well, for one thing you spoiled the end of one of Jiraiya's books, Kakashi told her. That was Naruto, not me. She pointed out. I didn't see you trying to stop him. Then you ruined my bell test. And finally, who's to say I hate you? Maybe I'm just trying to get you ready for the upcoming Chunin exams, Kakashi said in his best instructor voice. Don't mess with the bell test, get it? Is this the plant you want? Clone Naruto was asking Haku as Naruto and Sasuke arrived. Haku nodded. Thank you for helping out. You sure are working early. Naruto trailed off. I'm sorry, I'm not always the best with genders. My first instinct is girl, but I've spent too much time with Neji and Itachi over the years to make any assumptions. And for that matter, I'm still not sure Madara was a guy. Haku smiled kindly at him. I am, indeed, a male. You're not just saying that so I'll sound stupid referring to you as a guy, are you? Naruto asked. Because I've met some androgynous people who have done that, you know. We may very well never meet again, so why would I do that? Haku asked. Naruto shrugged. For the hell of it. I can only offer you my word that I am, indeed, a boy, Haku said. But seeing as how you don't know me, I don't quite know how much that's worth. Naruto eyed Haku carefully. I believe you, he said finally. I'm glad. So why are you out here so early? Haku inquired politely. I fell asleep outside, Naruto explained. My teacher's making us climb trees until we pass out. He's kind of evil. Call it training. Training? And that forehead protector. Could you be a ninja? Haku asked, sounding vaguely interested. Yeah, if you ever want to do something exciting, you've got to be a ninja, Naruto explained. Although I suppose working at Ichiraku's wouldn't be too bad. Where are you from? Haku asked. Konoha is the greatest place on earth, Naruto said proudly. Is it now? Haku asked, smiling a little. Oh yes. In fact, we haven't had a bloodline massacre in. God, it must be 4 years now, Naruto said cheerfully. Konoha has bloodline massacres? Haku asked, alarmed. I thought Konoha was a safe haven for those with a keke dot. Oh, it is, Naruto assured the other boy. That was complicated and the work of a missing nin. Just not in this timeline. Why are you training? Haku asked, changing the subject. Because Kakashi threatened to make me spend 3 days watching everyone I know eating ramen non-stop but not letting me have any, Naruto explained. And then he said something about squirrels, but I was too horrified to really listen. I see. Haku said. Oh, and also because I want to protect the people I care about, Naruto said. But my immediate reason for being here was no ramen. So you have someone who is important to you? Haku asked, choosing not to focus on the ramen obsession. Naruto shrugged. Yeah, I do. I have lots of precious people, actually. Losing them is hard, and I don't think I'd survive the loss without other precious people being there to try and fill the void. When a person has something important to protect, that's when they can truly become strong, Haku declared. I agree, Naruto said solemnly. Let's meet again sometime, Haku said, standing up. I know you will become strong. You're such a sap, Sasuke whispered to the real Naruto. Oh shut up, what was I supposed to say? Naruto shot back. Besides, I like Haku. God knows why, he tried to kill you, Sasuke muttered. Not very hard, Naruto countered. And I wouldn't be talking about attempted murder, Sasuke, since you had to have Itachi freaking Maru talk you down from killing me. Would you just let that go already? Sasuke demanded. Sure, the minute you stop calling me an idiot because I graduated last in the class, Naruto promised. Sasuke snorted. You didn't even graduate, it was an act of God. Figures you'd call Orochimaru God. With that, Sasuke and Naruto decided Haku was sufficiently ahead of them and followed him back to Zabuza's hideout. It was slow going as Haku was very cautious, but they eventually made it. I sense 3 other chakras besides Haku and Zabuza, Naruto said quietly. Is that Gato, do you think? I have no idea what his chakra is supposed to feel like, but who else would be there? Sasuke asked. It's times like these that I miss Karen. Karen? Naruto repeated. Isn't she the one who tried to drug you? Okay, so maybe I don't miss her that much. That's him, Sasuke said, his eyes trained on the man who had just exited the hideout. He and Naruto silently followed them until they were about a mile away from the enemy ninja, and then they struck. Naruto slit the 2 guards' throats with a kunai, and Sasuke snapped Gato's neck with a well-placed blow to the back of the head. Wow, Sasuke, I didn't even know you knew how to fight without the Sharingan, Naruto said, sounding deeply impressed. Sasuke scowled. And I didn't know you could fight somebody without trying to save them from themselves. That only applies to ninja and the odd civilian I've gotten attached to, Naruto explained. Mercenaries are on their own. Sasuke crouched down next to Gato. Let's just see if he has any handwriting samples on him. After digging through the dead man's pocket for a moment, he found a half-finished letter. Perfect. Activating his Sharingan, Sasuke sat on the ground, pulled out another piece of paper and began to write. So? What are you doing? Naruto asked when Sasuke was still writing 20 minutes later. Forging a will, Sasuke said it was obvious. Oh? Who did Gato leave everything to? Naruto asked, curious. He left the entirety of his ill-gotten fortune and trust to Mamachi Zabuza, Sasuke said, to use as for the express purpose of returning Wave to its former glory. Naruto stared at him. Are you sure that's a good idea? Sasuke shrugged. The way I see it. If he's happy in Wave, he's not bothering us. Oh, and now he can come one step closer to making Kiri like he thinks Konoha is because he'll have experience with reforming a place, and with the power that money will give him the Mizukage won't dare go after him. Naruto exclaimed. I just hope he doesn't let the power go to his head. Sasuke shrugged again. It's not our problem either way. Naruto glared at him. We don't live in a vacuum, Sasuke. What happens in one nation affects the others. Save the politics for someone who cares, Sasuke said, signing Gato's name and 2 names he knew but couldn't quite place as witnesses. Now pick up the body and let's go. They quickly made their way back to Zabuza's hideout. Before they could reach the door, Haku opened it and stood staring at them. May I help you? He asked, recognizing Naruto easily since they had parted only an hour ago. Yeah, we thought you might like this, Naruto said, dumping Gato's body at his feet. We were a little surprised at the contents of the will, though. Will? Haku asked blankly. Here, Sasuke said, shoving the paper into Haku's hands. Go start a revolution or something. It was nice seeing you again, Naruto called. And if you could just not attack Tazuna again, that would be great. After all, it wouldn't ruin the economy of your new country. Gato's dead, Sasuke announced upon returning to Tazuna's house for dinner that night. And that took you 10 hours? Kakashi asked skeptically. No, we were sparring for the rest of the time, Naruto explained. We never really get a chance to fight properly, and so we couldn't very well lose this opportunity, now could we? Gato? Dead. Inari repeated. There's no way idiots like you managed to kill him. We did, Naruto confirmed. It wasn't that hard, really. It helped that we caught him off guard. So does that mean the missions are over? Sakura asked. Or should we stay until the bridge is complete? It should only be a few more days, Tazuna offered. Let's take a vote, Kakashi said. All in favor of leaving now? Sasuke raised his hand. All in favor of staying and helping. Naruto and Sakura raised their hands. As I'm abstaining so as to remain impartial, that's 2-1 in favor of staying. Sorry, Sasuke, Kakashi said. Sasuke sighed. Whatever. Just as long as when we get back we can tell everyone I got the Manjikyu. It would probably be easier to stick to the truth of what happened before with Haku, except Naruto took it from me, not vice versa. It's nice, simple, and could easily happen. Alright, Naruto agreed. Even though me dying is kind of lame, at least I heroically took the attack meant for you that might very well have killed me. You didn't kill Gato, Inari insisted. Stop lying. Why is that so hard to believe? Sakura asked gently. I mean, I wasn't there, but I know Naruto and Sasuke wouldn't lie about something like that. If they say he's gone, he's gone. No one can kill him, he's too strong, Inari insisted. Naruto shot his teammates with a look that clearly said somebody shares a sob story. I would do it myself, but I don't technically have one here besides losing a mother. I don't remember the day I was born. Naruto's looks tended to be very expressive. Sasuke just stared back impassively, and Sakura had also technically never lost anyone. Kakashi sighed, knowing it was up to him. He still didn't like talking about what had happened, but it had become a little easier after meeting up with his father in the afterlife. That one time he was dead for an hour or so. My father died too, you know, Kakashi said conversationally. He wasn't put to death by your father while he was a big hero, but he might as well have been. He was a hero and an inspiration to everyone until he took a mission and had to choose between completing it and saving his teammates. Inari said nothing, but it was clear he was listening. Everyone turned on him, Kakashi continued. His friends, the villagers, even the very people he had saved. They said that choosing lives over the mission made him trash and, in the end, he took his own life. That really affected me, and for a long time I was obsessed with making sure no one thought I was like him and became obsessed with rules and regulations. Inari looked skeptical. Really? What happened to change that? My best friend told me that my father was a hero, Kakashi said simply. Only he wasn't my best friend then, he was just some annoying kid I was stuck on a team with. Then he almost died trying to save our other teammate and forced me to choose her over the mission as well. In the end, we were able to both rescue her and complete our mission, but it was close, and even if we hadn't been able to, I wouldn't regret it. Your father stood up to Gato because he believed that what he was doing was wrong and that somebody had to do it, and he was clearly inspiring people. Gato killed him to try and crush that courage, and you know what? It worked. It would be a shame for your father to have died for nothing. If things go back to the way they were before or worse, then that will be the case. There is no worse death than a pointless one. There are heroes in this world, Inari, and your father was one of them. Things will get better. Inari said nothing for the rest of the meal, but looked oddly pensive. So this is it, then, Tazuna said, eyeing the completed bridge proudly. Now I just need a name for it. You know, since we had to go up against a missing S-class ninja and ended up saving your entire country, you really do owe us a lot more than just C-rank mission pay, Naruto said seriously. Not to mention the wages you'd owe us for bridge construction. Tazuna looked nervous. But the bridge was just finished today. It'll be quite some time before we can even begin to afford. But Naruto cut him off with a grin. I think we can be persuaded to forego the extra pay if you name the bridge after me. Tazuna thought about that for a moment. Well, you did speed up bridge construction, protect me even though I lied about what kind of danger I was facing, kill Gato, and inspire Inari. Why not? Does the Great Naruto Bridge sound good to you? It sounds fantastic, Naruto told him seriously. You know, it's been a lifelong dream of mine to have a bridge named after me. Really? Tazuna asked. That's a strange dream. Since I was 8, Naruto confirmed. And what can I say? I was a strange kid. That'll believe, Sasuke muttered. It is kind of strange that the ninja who tried to kill me has suddenly come into all this money and has decided to play benefactor, Tazuna mused. Sasuke shrugged. I wouldn't hold a grudge. It was just a job, and now that he doesn't need the money anymore, that's completely in the past. Naruto stared at Sasuke in shock. Sasuke. Telling someone not to hold a grudge? Alright, who are you and where's my real revenge-obsessed best friend? Inari hesitantly approached Kakashi. I've been thinking about what you said. Oh? Kakashi prompted. Inari nodded. Yeah. I've decided you're right. Dad didn't want us to live in fear, and since he died for us, the least I can do is honor that. I may be afraid, but I'm not going to let that hold me back. Kakashi smiled fondly at the boy, who still couldn't really tell because of the mask. The eyes were a bit of a giveaway, though. I'm glad. You know, it's strange, Sakura said once everyone finished saying their goodbyes. It feels like we really didn't do much here. Sasuke snorted. Maybe you didn't. Kakashi used a non-violent form of therapy jutsu on Inari and Naruto, and I killed Gato and saved Zabuza and Haku. Don't worry, Sakura-chan, Naruto said encouragingly. I'm sure you'll find something to do eventually. Chapter 8. Evil Soulless Puppets. When Team 7 returned from their first official C-rank mission, Minato and his team insisted on taking the new Team 7 out to dinner to hear all about it. Itachi and her no Kaisuke and Momoko were invited as well, but Sakura's parents felt they would really be far happier, not knowing the kind of danger their daughter faced, now that she was old enough to do so, regardless of what they thought, and declined. So I trust you didn't encounter any problems. Minato asked. Sakura coughed. Didn't Kakashi give you the mission report, Hokage-sama? Minato laughed. Right. Kakashi won't have that in for good. 2 weeks, I'd say. Why? It turned out that Tazuna was lying about it being a C-rank mission and we had to fight 3 missing nin, she explained. Minato turned to glare at his student. Kakashi laughed nervously. I didn't mention that. No, you did not. Kakashi's busted, Obito grinned. I'm sure he has a good reason, Rin said. Or at least a reason. Although it is entirely possible that he just forgot. Your support is touching, Kakashi said dryly. We try, Rin said sweetly. What happened, Kakashi? Minato demanded. It started off pretty basically, Kakashi began. A few days in, however, we were attacked by the demon brothers of Kiri, who I'd say were around mid-Chunin level. Naruto immobilized them while Sakura and Sasuke took them out. Apparently Tazuna was threatening a tycoon named Gatu's stranglehold on the economy of Wave with his bridge, so Gatu was trying to have him killed. We fought Zabuza, the demon of the mist. Minato interrupted, glancing at Naruto, as if he expected him to be secretly maimed or something. Yes, Kakashi nodded. We managed to drive him off after a long and trying battle, and then just when I was about to finish him off, he came out of nowhere and incapacitated him. It turned out to be his student posing as Kiri Hunter Nin, who saved him and nursed him back to health. Did he come after you again? Rin asked, concerned. No, Kakashi shook his head. He probably would have, but by the time he had recovered, Gatu had died of natural causes. Natural causes? Naruto snorted. His neck was snapped. Or was his throat slit? No, those were the bodyguards. I think dying once your neck breaks is very natural, indeed. Especially given all the people I know who wouldn't die under those circumstances, Kakashi defended. Anyway, Gatu's will left his fortune to Zabuza for some reason under the condition he would use it to rebuild Wave. Zabuza seemed willing to give it a shot, so here we are. Wow, Obito said, shaking his head. You can never just get a normal mission, can you? I know, Kakashi agreed. It's strange. At least there were no squirrel attacks, though. Not again, Sakura began, but stopped when she saw the look on Obito's face. He looked traumatized. So many squirrels. It's okay, they're gone, Rin comforted him. You mean that really happened? Sasuke asked in disbelief. Of course it happened, Kakashi said, sounding almost offended. You honestly think I'd make something like that up? I'm not even going to dignify that with a response other than this one informing you of my decision, Naruto said flatly. So that's all that happened? Minato asked. You don't know anything about the sudden change of regime in Wave? Not really, Sasuke lied. Something weird happened with my Sharingan, though. Oh? Itachi spoke up, sounding concerned. Yeah, Sasuke nodded. It's like it's different now. See? With that, he activates his Mangekyou Sharingan. Did anyone other than Gatu and his guards die on your mission, Sasuke? Itachi asked sharply. Sasuke feigned confusion. I don't think so. I mean, when we were fighting Zabuza was heading right for me, but Naruto jumped in front of me. We thought it was Zabuza's accomplice pretending to be a hunter nin, trying to hit Zabuza and missing because we were all moving around. And what did they do once it hit Naruto? Itachi pressed. Sasuke looked down. I thought he was dead. He stopped moving, stopped breathing. He was dead and it was my fault because I didn't notice and Naruto did, and even if he is an annoyingly optimistic idiot, he's still my best friend. It's called the Mangekyou Sharingan, Itachi explained quietly. It can only be acquired from the guilt and grief of watching someone you love die and blaming yourself. It's extremely powerful but corrosive, which is why we are fortunate that Tsunade-sama found a way to counteract the effects. That was significantly less traumatizing than Itachi's initial explanation, but since before he was only feet away from his parents' still warm bodies, he supposed it would almost have to be. Do you have one, too? Sasuke asked innocently. Yes, Itachi answered shortly. I'll show you how to use it later. The massacre, Sasuke supplied. Even if he didn't want to talk about it ever he couldn't very well mention Shisui's tragic suicide, and since everyone knew Itachi was there when Orochimaru was, that would be the most logical time for it to have happened. Itachi was spared having to say anything when Obito tactfully spoke up, you're lucky, Sasuke. I've kind of wanted one for a while, but Kakashi fakes his own death so often that I'm immune by now. Speaking of, Kakashi said, pulling out a kunai. I think I'll give you another shot right now. It won't work if you announce it, Obito groaned. Don't. You. Dare, Minato said, an evil look in his eye. We need to talk. Talk? About what? Kakashi said nervously. I don't think there's anything we need to talk about. In fact, I'm almost positive that there isn't. Anko's getting back tonight though, so I really should be going. When, exactly, were you planning on mentioning the fact that you let my son die? Minato demanded. Okay kids, time to go, Obito said, quickly standing up heading for the door. The rest of the party had enough sense to follow him. Since Team 7's return, they had been working almost non-stop on their taijutsu and in Sasuke and Sakura's case, bringing up their chakra reserves. It got to be a bit tiresome after 3 weeks, but there wasn't really anything else for them to do as they were banned from taking D ranks, and Minato was hesitant to give them another C rank so soon after their C turned a rank mission to wave. "Hey look, it's that bird. Guess that means it's Chunin exam time," Kakashi announced cheerfully. "Aren't the foreign delegations going to arrive really soon?" Sakura asked. "Like, sooner than they should be able to make it. Why in the world does every other nation find out about this before us? We live here." "I knew when the exam was," Naruto offered. Sasuke rolled his eyes. "So? You're the Hokage's son and can't mind your own business. It would be weird if you didn't know." "I'm going to go get you guys signed up," Kakashi told them. "Unless, of course, you'd like to wait another 6 months until the next exam and keep working on your taijutsu." "No, that's okay," Sakura said quickly. "We can handle it. Besides, Neji and Gaara won't beat sense into themselves," Naruto added. "You won't be able to convince them you understand their pain so easily now that you apparently have none," Sakura pointed out. "That's fine," Naruto said easily. "We'll just make Sasuke do it." "Like hell," Sasuke said bluntly. "I prefer to do my angst in silence, thank you very much. If Orochimaru still invades, which he might or might not as Jiraiya says he is still part of Akatsuki, then you would get a chance with Gaara anyway," Kakashi pointed out. "Wait, Orochimaru's still part of the Akatsuki?" Sasuke asked, surprised. "He only left because he tried to steal Itachi's body and failed, remember?" Naruto asked. "And since Itachi's still in Konoha and not around to scare him away, why wouldn't he be a member?" "True enough," Sasuke agreed. "Well, if you're sure then I'm off to go nominate you." "Remember kids," Kakashi said cheerfully, "if you don't all pass on your first try, then help me, I'm signing you up for Guy and Lee early morning training for the next year." Looking rather pale, the 3 soon-to-be Chuninins nodded their understanding. "So how do you think the exam will go?" Sakura asked once Kakashi was gone. "The first should be easy as long as you don't inexplicably try and give up and make me give an inspirational speech to stop you again," Naruto decided. "Hey," Sakura flushed. "I was just trying to help you out and protect your dream." "Kind of stupid, though," Sasuke pointed out. "Considering that the other nations never would have stood for it if some of their most promising genins could never be Chunin because Konoha wanted to make their exam more interesting." "Cut me some slack, I was 12. Sakura protested. "And the smartest person there besides Shikamaru," Sasuke pointed out. "The second phase should be easy as long as we keep away from Gaara, and if for some reason Orochimaru comes after me again, I'll just trap him in Tsukiyomi." "Why not that fire thing?" "Amaterasu?" Naruto asked. "Amaterasu," Sasuke corrected absently. "And we'll be in a forest so that would be a spectacularly bad idea even if it would probably kill him." "Oh, right. The only problem should be the finals where even if you win you still might not pass," Naruto said. "Actually, I passed the first time I entered the finals," Sakura pointed out. "When I took the test with Choji and Ino while you guys were gone. And I passed the first time my fight lasted longer than 5 minutes," Sasuke added. "So really, that's only you who somehow managed to fail." Naruto twitched. "You passed the same exam I did." "Oh, that was funny," Sakura giggled. "You guys at 17 being 2 of the most powerful ninja around going up against a bunch of frightened 12 and 13-year-olds. It's not that funny," Naruto grumbled. "We almost didn't pass because everyone we were up against in the finals forfeited. Fortunately, our fight was enough to convince them," Sasuke said. "Well of course," Sakura told them. "Everyone knew you deserved the rank by that point, it was really just a formality." Naruto spun around suddenly. "For the last time, Konohamaru. Rocks are not square nor do they have eyes." "Yes they do," a muffled voice replied from underneath a rather shoddy rock impersonation. "Rocks don't talk either," Naruto continued, "nor do they follow me around." "Aw, you caught us," Konohamaru said, clambering out from underneath his disguise along with his 2 friends, Yuden and Mogi. "Will you play ninja with us again?" Naruto shrugged. "Ah, why not? It's not like we have anything else to do anyway." "Yay." The Konohamaru Corps cheered. "Why do you keep making up play ninja when we're already the real thing?" Sasuke demanded. "Because it's either that or more chakra control techniques," Naruto said flatly. "Besides, Konohamaru's great." "Did you hear that?" Konohamaru whispered excitedly. "Boss said I'm great." "He is kind of adorable," Sakura decided. Konohamaru looked up at her. "Hey, I've been wondering. Are you boss's girlfriend?" "No, she's my teammate," Naruto explained. "Are you that guy's girlfriend?" Konohamaru asked, jerking his head toward Sasuke. "Yeah, we all decided not to date until after we made Chunin," Sakura said hurriedly before Sasuke got a chance to respond. "Ah, so it's a love triangle." Konohamaru nodded wisely. "It's really not," Sasuke told him, but Konohamaru wasn't listening. "Sakura and her teammate sitting in a tree." he sang, running off followed by his two friends. I'm going to kill him, Sakura said flatly. Don't do that, Naruto implored. He's 8. Fine, Sakura relented. I'll just maim him. With that, she took off after him, leaving Sasuke and Naruto no choice but to follow. When they reached Konohamaru, he was being held off the ground by an irate Kankuro. Watch where you're going, why don't you? He growled. Oh my god, is that what I think it is? Naruto asked, horrified. That would probably depend on what you think it is, Sakura answered, uncertain as to what Naruto thought he was doing. Evil. Naruto cried, pointing a trembling hand in the direction of the Sand siblings. He's pure evil. Kankuro and Temari looked uneasily at Gaara, who was watching the scene impassively. Boss? Konohamaru asked. Get away from him, Konohamaru. He might eat you. Naruto warned him. Poor Kankuro was so shocked he dropped the boy. See? He just dropped you. Evil, I tell you. Naruto insisted. Wait. You mean me? Kankuro asked incredulously. Naruto nodded vehemently. Why are you scared of Kankuro, of all people? Temari said. The when Gaara standing 2 feet behind him went unspoken, of course. 3 words, Naruto said, taking a deep breath. Evil. Soulless. Puppets. Sakura nodded her understanding. Naruto had always been kind of creeped out when Kankuro decided to use Sasori as his newest puppet. Kankuro had insisted that he needed a new puppet as Sasori had broken his old ones and that it was just an extremely powerful puppet, but Naruto had been firm in his belief that it was essentially their opponent's corpse. Naruto has puppet issues, she explained. Not that severe, but if Naruto wanted to be dramatic, who was she to stop him? So do I, for that matter, Sasuke said idly. I mean, I won't run away terrified like Naruto's on the verge of doing, but they're still rather disturbing. You do? Sakura asked. I didn't know that. Oh yes, Sasuke confirmed. My brother and my cousin Shisui took me to a Bunraku theater once. Well, suffice to say that was the most traumatized I've been since the massacre and the second most traumatized since that snake attacked me in the forest. Even now, it ranks pretty high up there. Naruto looked confused. Shisui would have died before the massacre, though. Don't you mean Obito? Sasuke rolled his eyes. Yes, Naruto, I mixed up 2 of the cousins I've spent the most time with. Who do you take me for? You? Hey. Naruto protested. That may not have been phrased perfectly, but I meant that before the massacre it was my most traumatizing memory, it was the second most traumatizing thing after the massacre, the third most after that snake attack, and so on. You're scared of me, Kankuro repeated, still stunned. Yes, please don't come any closer, Naruto entreated. But. What about him? Temari asked, nodding her head towards her much more intimidating younger brother. Why would we be scared of him? Sakura asked innocently. Because he's. Temari began automatically. A Jinchuriki. Naruto supplied. How did you know? Kankuro demanded. My Jinchuriki senses were tingling, Naruto deadpanned. Sasuke rolled his eyes. You do not have Jinchuriki senses. Then how did I know he was a Jinchuriki? Naruto challenged. Then why haven't any of us ever heard of these Jinchuriki senses? Sasuke countered. Because I'm the only Jinchuriki in Konoha and I've never met a fellow Jinchuriki before, Naruto lied. Well, in this timeline he henned. Why you're a Jinchuriki, too? Temari looked downright terrified. Yep, Naruto grinned at her. And you two knew about this? Temari asked the non-possessed members of Team 7. Everyone knows, Konohamaru replied even though she wasn't talking to him. Everyone? Kankuro asked. And? You don't care. Why would we? Konohamaru looked confused. My grandfather, the previous Hokage, sealed the Kyuubi in him so it wouldn't kill everyone. He saved us. I swear, I will never get used to that, Naruto said quietly, looking pleased. When your father's the Hokage, a hero and determined, he can get most things done. So no one has tried to assassinate you? Gaara inquired, finally deigning to speak. Naruto shrugged. A few people here and there. It wasn't because I was a Jinchuriki, but because my father had a lot of enemies. The Anbu always stopped them, though, so it's not really a big deal. Let me get this straight. Kankuro said finally. You're possessed by a demon, but you're scared of my puppets. They're evil, soulless puppets, Naruto corrected. And everyone's fine with having a demon container in their midst, Kankuro continued, ignoring him. We've been surrounded by worse, Sasuke replied casually. Yeah, demon possession really doesn't compare to the flames of youth, Sakura agreed. Dear God, this place is insane. So how about the rookies? Minato asked. Kakashi, do you feel that your team is ready? More than ready, Kakashi replied. They've only been out of the academy for 4 months, Iruka protested. Kakashi shrugged. They're quick learners. Besides, C ranks are really all they can do right now, and those are mostly for Chunin anyway. That wouldn't be a problem if you hadn't let them fail all the D rank missions, Kurenai pointed out. Kakashi crossed his arms. You're just jealous because I don't have to supervise village chores anymore. I am not. she insisted. Although I also wish to enter my students. I am, Asuma confessed. Getting Shikamaru to do more than show up to those is usually more trouble than it's worth. And getting Choji to do anything might be easy, but it is expensive. And don't even get me started on Ino's nagging. I'll enter as well. I just hope I have enough time to convince Shikamaru to show up. Seriously, Iruka, Kakashi told the academy teacher. If I make them do any more training, I honestly think they're going to revolt. Besides, this year it's in Konoha where we'll all be on hand to make sure things go smoothly, and I'm sure Minato would rather kill the rival Genin himself than allow one of them to do any permanent damage to Naruto. What's the worst that could happen? Famous last words. Iruka murmured, beginning to get a very bad feeling indeed. Chapter 9. You smell of snakes. Are you sure you want to go through with this? Minato asked his son the morning of the Chunin exams. It doesn't matter if I wanted to or not, Naruto said grimly. Kakashi threatened to make us train with Guy for a year if we don't. Minato winced sympathetically. Well, I just don't want you getting involved with something you can't handle. You don't think I can handle this? Naruto asked, a little hurt. Minato shook his head. No, that's not it, it's just. This is dangerous. Really dangerous. You could die and I know you faced death on that A-rank mission you took, but Kakashi was there to protect you, and now you're all on your own. I'm not all on my own, Naruto corrected. I've got Sakura and Sasuke with me and we're going to kick ass. Is that so? Minato asked, sounding amused. Believe it. Naruto declared. And besides, since I've recently achieved my lifelong dream of having a bridge named after me, I need to make Chunin to make progress on my other lifelong dream of becoming Hokage. Minato raised an eyebrow. You had a bridge named after you? Was this in wave? Do tell. Mom, Dad, I'm going to take the Chunin exams today, so I won't be going on any missions for the next 2 months or so, Sakura announced. Momoko looked puzzled. You're taking more tests. I thought you would be done with that when you graduated. So did I, Sakura laughed. But this is to see if I'm ready to be promoted. I'm sure you'll do fine, Kaisuke told her confidently. You've always been good at tests. Thanks, Sakura beamed, heading for the door. I may not actually be home tonight or for the next week or so, and if that's the case, then it's because we're doing a survival test, so don't freak out or anything. Good luck. Momoko called after her daughter. Are you nervous? Itachi asked. Sasuke looked up from his breakfast. Since today was a big day, he was having tomatoes despite their status as usually not a breakfast food. If Naruto could have ramen every day for breakfast, then Sasuke could have tomatoes occasionally. No. Itachi looked at him skeptically. Really? What's the worst that could happen? Sasuke asked rhetorically. People have got to stop asking that, Itachi said, shaking his head ruefully. And you could die, for one. Or fall into a coma. Or get permanently disabled. Or, thanks to the vote of confidence, Sasuke interrupted a bit petulantly. Relax, Sasuke, Itachi told him with a small smile. I'm not saying it will happen to you, just that it could happen at the exams. In fact, I'm sure you'll do just fine. Then why do you think I should be nervous? Sasuke countered. Itachi shrugged. Everyone's nervous at their first Chunin exam, right? Even you? Sasuke asked, surprised. You do realize I was 2 years younger than you when I took it, right? Itachi reminded his little brother. You still won, Sasuke pointed out. True, but even if you don't you could still make Chunin. Just give them a good show, Itachi advised. I've got to go, Sasuke said, standing up and popping the last piece of tomato into his mouth. Itachi stood up as well to poke him in the forehead. Be good and don't fail. Hey, Kakashi, I was wondering something, Obito said slowly. What's that? Kakashi replied. You know how Genin teams have to complete a minimum of 8 missions in order to be eligible for the Chunin exams? Obito began. Kakashi nodded. You wouldn't think just going shopping or babysitting a few times would qualify you, but then again I suppose that's why this is the first time in 5 years rookies are entering. Your team took quite a few missions, I'll admit, Obito continued. But they only ended up passing the wave escort mission. Even if that was technically an A-rank mission, it still only counts as one. How in the world are they allowed to compete? Kakashi froze. That's a damn good question. I suppose my team did find all the lost pets they were supposed to, even if Sasuke did end up traumatizing them, and since they didn't lose, maim, or kill the children they were watching, those would count, even if they aren't allowed within 10 feet of those missions anymore. Or it could just be blatant favoritism given that Naruto is Minato-sensei's son, you are his student, and Sasuke is my cousin, Obito teased. We're going with the first one, Kakashi said firmly. So ready for the big exam? Anko asked, coming up behind them. I believe my students are. Properly motivated, Kakashi replied. Plus it will let me off the hook as far as that punctuality thing goes. You're never going to be off the hook, Anko informed him seriously. Yeah, you think it's bad when you're dating or engaged to someone? Obito asked rhetorically. Wait until this is over and you get married. It's like Rin made it her mission in life to make sure I wind up where I need to be on time. She's given me plenty of tips as an engagement present, Anko said cheerfully. Kakashi groaned. I knew I should have stayed single. What was that? Anko asked, pulling out a kunai. I love you. Kakashi offered weakly. That's what I thought, Anko said sweetly. So who's proctoring the third exam? I heard Hate was going to do it, but realized that with his chronic coughing, it might make his job difficult. I volunteered for that, Obito answered. In fact, I was actually the one who convinced Hate that it might be a problem. Proctors don't necessarily have a very large speaking role, especially for the tournament part of the exam, but in life or death situations the match has to be called quickly, and if he's suffering from a coughing fit someone might die. That would make us look really stupid, Kakashi decided. So you both are proctors, huh? I'm feeling kind of left out. You lost your opportunity to be a proctor when you entered your kids into the exam, Anko told him. Besides, the only part left would be if there were to be a preliminary round and you wanted to do that instead of Obito or the written exam part, but Ibiki really is the best choice for that. I don't know, Obito said thoughtfully. Well, I would agree that Ibiki is far more intimidating than Kakashi. Kakashi would probably manage to piss them off and get them to lose their composure more easily, thus narrowing the candidates down. After all it takes is one idiot with an I'll never give up speech to get through Ibiki's final test, and that wouldn't really work with a deal with Kakashi's eccentricity's final test. True. Anko agreed. It's a little late now, though, and Team 7 is in the exam. We should recommend that for the next time this is held in Konoha. You guys are the worst friends ever, Kakashi said flatly. But you'd be lost without us, Obito grinned. I could easily replace you with a rock, Kakashi insisted. A memorial rock, but still. Team 7 walked onto the second floor to see a sizable crowd standing around watching a mildly hinged Izumo and Katetsu beating up Team Guy. How they thought that would be inconspicuous was anyone's guess. Naruto, of course, went right up to the disguised Chunin. Excuse me, can you move? Sorry, kid, we're weeding out the weak, Izumo told him. If you want to enter the exam room, you're going to have to go through us, Katetsu agreed. Yeah, that's great, but you're blocking the way to the stairwell, Naruto shot back. Stairwell. One of the grass nins who may or may not still be associated with Orochimaru repeated. Look, just because Konoha comes off as rather eccentric doesn't mean we have a different labeling system, Sakura told him heatedly. I applaud your dedication to weeding out those unworthy of becoming Chunin, especially if you think that some of the applicants aren't actually capable of telling the difference between the numbers 2 and 3, Sasuke added. The genin surrounding them all suddenly found the floor and/or ceiling extremely fascinating. Well, I suppose your team at least passes, Izumo decided. Not that we would have expected otherwise from the stacked team, Katetsu muttered. Oh, you only wish your team had been as awesome as ours, undercover exam proctors. Naruto declared. Did they say they were undercover exam proctors? An aimed genin asked. Gotta go, Katetsu said as he and Izumo quickly left. Excuse me, what is your name? Lee asked as he came up beside Sakura on the walk to the correct room. Burino Sakura, Sakura replied. And you are? Rock Lee, Lee told her with a smile. Would you like to go out with me? I'll protect you until I die. That's certainly very thoughtful, Sakura told him. Tragically, needing to be protected is one of my biggest pet peeves, and my teammates and I decided that puberty would be a lot easier to handle if we didn't date anyone until we made Chunin, so I'm going to have to decline. So? If you make Chunin and I make Chunin, can we go out? Lee asked hopefully. If we both make Chunin, ask me again after I've gotten a chance to get to know you better, Sakura told him. I'm not the kind of girl who will go out with someone because they're cute, cool, or strong without getting to know them first. Since when? Ino asked, latching onto Sasuke. You nearly ended our friendship because you didn't think friends could be rivals, remember? Thankfully Naruto and Sasuke have long since convinced me otherwise, Sakura said smoothly. So you're in this exam too, Ino? Yep, Ino nodded. And that other team that graduated with us. Is it really that difficult to remember who we are? Kiba demanded, also showing up with his team. We only had classes with you for 4 years. If my precious Sasuke-kun were on your team then I'm certain I would remember you, Ino sniffed. I'd be careful of dismissing teammate, Ino, Naruto warned her. They have Shino. So? Ino said, not seeing a need for concern. He does bugs, Sakura explained. It's. You don't want him on your bad side, let's just say. You, Ino made a face. Bugs are so gross. Please do not be so troublesome as to let Shino hear you say that, Shikamaru advised her. It would not end well for you. Sakura used to like that boy. Lee pointed at Sasuke. Then I shall challenge him to a fight in order to prove that I am a worthy competitor for her heart. You'll do that by beating up my teammate before the Chunin exam starts? Sakura asked skeptically. Your faith is truly touching, Sasuke said sarcastically. As to the fight. I would, really, but I don't think anyone here needs a preview of my skills, and unless you make it to the inevitable one-on-one portion of the exams, the simple truth is you will not be worth my time. Oh, I'll be there, Lee said determinedly. Are you planning on getting off anytime soon? Sasuke asked irritably. Nope, Ino said cheerfully. Sakura, how mad would you be if I were to use Sasuke began? Don't even think about it, Sakura told him sternly. Ino's my best friend, even if she is a fangirl. Fine, Sasuke grumbled and used a substitution instead. The log. Ino complained. No fair, Sasuke-kun. Though for the record, Sasuke told her quietly. Her fangirlism was never near as obnoxious as watching the competent Kunoichi who helped Naruto convince me to come back to Konoha revert to a silly little girl who would break her most important bonds for the sake of a pretty boy. Yeah, well. Thanks for not letting me, Sakura said, a little embarrassed. So you're not a fangirl anymore? Tenten asked. What? No, I outgrew that quite a while ago, Sakura explained. But Tenten said vehemently. Because to any serious ninja a fangirl is just about the worst thing to be, and I don't want to have to salvage the reputation of Konoha's Kunoichis all by myself. What about Hinata? Sakura asked. She doesn't like Sasuke. Tenten raised her eyebrows. Have you ever seen the way she looks at Naruto? Sakura conceded. Hiba, I think Choji wants to eat your dog, you should be careful with it, Hinata said quietly. What? Kiba yelped. Is that true? Maybe, Choji admitted. I'm hungry. Just eat one of your boxed lunches, Shikamaru advised him. You brought over a dozen. But I might need those to fortify me in between exams, Choji protested. If you try and eat Akamaru, he could very well try and eat you back, Kiba warned. Can you all try not acting like you're five? Niji asked, standing as far apart from the group as he could without being rude. I agree, Kabuto said, approaching them. You guys should be more quiet. You're just out of the academy, huh? Who are you? Shino asked. I'm Kabuto, Kabuto replied. But don't worry about that. Look around you. The future Konoha 11 plus Sasuke looked around. Quite a few people were glaring at them. Those guys behind you are from a megacur. They have short tempers. Everyone is nervous about the exam. Quiet down before you cause a scene, Kabuto advised. If these people can't deal with a little noise then there is no way they are qualified to be Chunin, Sasuke said coolly. And if they start a fight they'll just get thrown out of the exams. I don't see any reason to keep it down. Hey, Kiba, is it just me or does this guy smell like a snake? Naruto asked. Kiba sniffed. You know, you're right, he does smell like a snake. I do? Kabuto asked, seemingly puzzled. That's strange. I don't like snakes, Naruto told him. Snakes remind me of vampires and vampires are evil. So is this your first time, too? Ino asked. No offense, but you look quite a bit older than us. Oh, no, actually this is my 7th time, Kabuto told them, looking a little sheepish. Wow, you suck, Kiba said bluntly. If I don't pass by 5, I'm just going to resign myself to being a failure who can't beat a bunch of 12 and 13-year-olds and quit. It's not all bad, Kabuto insisted. I know quite a bit about the exam and have ninja info cards on everyone here. How would your retaking the exam repeatedly help you get information on the people who are just now taking it for the first time? Shikamaru asked lazily. Well, that's it. Does anybody want to see the cards? Kabuto asked, holding them up. I do, Kankuro said as he walked up to them, Temari and Gaara not far behind him. He pointed at Naruto. Tell me about him and his teammates. Kabuto took 3 cards out of his deck. First up is Namikaze Naruto. He's the Hokage's son and is a Jinchuriki. He has very high ninjutsu and is above average in taijutsu though his is almost non-existent, Kabuto said. Then there is Uchiha Sasuke. He is one of 3 Uchiha to be left alive after the massacre 4 years ago. He has strong ninjutsu and taijutsu and is exceptional as well as already gaining the Sharingan Eye and evolving it to its 2nd level. Finally there is Haruno Sakura who is taking shifts at the hospital to be a medic with decent ninjutsu and taijutsu and very high. Their sensei is man down Kakashi and together they have. He trailed off, looking at the cards in disbelief. What? Kankuro growled. Together they have failed every D rank mission they have ever been on and have been permanently banned from all future D missions. They have one C rank that had turned into an A rank and successfully completed it. Kabuto finished, his voice somewhat shaky. Don't you have to have passed 8 missions to take this exam? Temari asked. Okage's-san probably get special treatment, Kankuro decided. How the hell did you manage to fail the D rank missions? They are the easiest things in the world. Kiba pointed out. Naruto grinned proudly. It took a great deal of effort planning, but we managed. And now we're banned for life. You say that like it's a good thing, Ino said, eyeing him strangely. Well it is quite the accomplishment, Sasuke informed her with a smirk. We're the first team to ever be banned from the D ranks. And we'll never, ever have to do any of them ever again, Sakura concluded, beaming. I hate you guys, Kiba announced. No more D ranks, huh? Shikamaru asked. If I planned out how to fail them, would you guys carry it out so we don't have to do them anymore? In a heartbeat, Ino replied promptly. Would Asuma-sensei still take us out for barbecue? Choji asked. I'm sure he'd be so thrilled to not have to supervise those chores that he would, Shikamaru assured him. Have I mentioned this place is full of crazy people? Kankuro asked. I believe so, Tamari answered. Well, I would just like to reiterate that, Kankuro said. Who is he? Hinata asked, pointing to Kankuro. He doesn't seem very open-minded. Let's see, Kabuto said, drawing another card. That's Kankuro. He's the son of the Kazukiage and has completed 8 C rank missions and 1 B rank mission. I would say that's very impressive, but Sasuke's team did an A rank. He mostly uses puppets in his fights. Evil soulless puppets? Choji asked, eyes widening. Sakura looked at Naruto in confusion, but he was currently hiding behind Shikamaru. Hide me? He begged. This is so troublesome, Shikamaru sighed. As long as I don't have to actually do anything. Naruto's been back for a few years and at some point he gave everyone a huge lecture about why puppets were evil, Sasuke explained in a whisper. I think that was when the girls were off picking flowers or something, though. It was more than just picking flowers. Sakura hissed indignantly. Although we did do that. How can you stand having such an evil brother? Naruto asked Tamari. She shot a quick glance at Gaara. Practice. Hey, whose side are you on, anyway? Kankuro complained. I feel sorry for you, Naruto told Gaara frankly. Gaara looked at him suspiciously. Why? Because your evil older brother hates everybody younger than him, of course, Naruto replied. I'm more than capable of handling his hatred, Gaara replied impassively. Doesn't make it right, Naruto insisted. Seriously, how can he not love kids? They're adorable. Hey, Naruto, your friend smells like raccoons, Kiba announced. Better than smelling evil like Kankuro, Gaara muttered. Naruto started, then grinned. My sentiments exactly. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoy it. If you want the next part of this video, turn on that bell notification. Like, subscribe and comment down below. And also check out the others videos I have created and enjoyed it. See you guys next video.